Hello, welcome everybody to the .NET MAUI live stream community stand-up. I will be your host today, David Ortinau, and I feel all very much alone right now. Gerald decided to go speak at a local event in the Netherlands. I assume the Netherlands, although he's not too far from Germany, so who knows. Welcome, and I see that I'm already getting a lesson in the YouTube chat here on flags. Welcome, July Brown from South Africa. I did not recognize the flag. Not an expert in flags. I probably should get a phone app game to do flags things. But we today, thank goodness, you're not just stuck with me. We have some special guests that we've brought in all the way from Uruguay. Yeah. And I had to say that before I even brought them on screen because they might completely correct me. Well, they may correct me anyway. But we've got the Grial team here. And so why don't I go ahead and start bringing some folks in and they can introduce themselves. Let's see here. I've got all the controls at my fingertips all by myself. Welcome, Diego. Welcome, Santi.
Hello.
How's it going? Why don't
David.
you, introduce yourselves because I won't do it complete justice. We'll start with Diego.
Okay, thanks, David. I'm Diego Rivero. I'm a co-founder at UX Cybers, been working on Grial and this stuff for the last 10 years. It's incredible, but a reality. So I'm pleased to be here and share the story with you. And thanks for the space.
Absolutely.
Of course, as always. And you perfectly pronounced Uruguay. I don't know if you know how the flag looks, but the pronunciation was perfect.
I'm going to guess. I don't know. For some reason, I'm picturing blue and white.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And a yellow sun. That's
Yellow
it.
sun. All right.
Yeah.
Very well.
All right, Santi.
Hello, I'm Santiago Martinez. I'm part of the Grial team. I have been working here from 5 years.
Mhm.
And I'm very glad to be here.
Santi, have you ever made it out to like Microsoft Build or any of the events we've had here?
No, this is the first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Actually, this is the first time streaming.
Yeah.
Introducing you to the world. This is your world debut.
Well, I've been working with Maui since I'm here at UX Divers. This is my first company. I started here. So that's it. I don't have any previous experience, but I'm glad to have the opportunity to grow here as part of a great team. I love share time with my colleagues and build amazing products.
Yeah, and you do build amazing products, and we're going to get a chance to see kind of the evolution of the Grial product today from the 10-year glorious history, which is pretty awesome because that means that I pretty much knew of Grial the entire time.
Yep.
Although I didn't, we have to talk about the Gorilla player a little bit, don't we? Come on, that thing was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Actually, it was built to enable building the first version of Grial.
Is that right?
Something, yeah.
That kind of like an internal tool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was super. We will share that later, but we try in the first version to pull the strings and try to stretch what the platform could do, and it was super hard to wait for the compilation to finish, and the error report was kind of messy in 2015. So yeah, that's why we built Gorilla Player.
2015, man, we've been doing this a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, but you look younger than ever. I don't know. You reverse.
I'm doing the Benjamin Buttons thing. It's the reverse aging.
Yeah.
No, I got some decent genetics. I don't know. I can't claim too much credit for it, but it pays to be healthy, pays to run, pays to work out. So I'll say that for Santi's benefit, since I think you're the youngest one here, right? Like,
Yes.
Don't be sitting around on your butt playing video games all the time.
Yes, I should learn that.
I should have learned earlier too. I know, man. I could go back in time. It looks like Quilla Lozano put the flag in the YouTube chat. Thank you. Now we know what the flag looks like. Everybody should just go find your flag and put it in the chat, and we'll all learn more about flags. I'm going to share my screen. What we're going to do, we'll go through some community updates, kind of like what's the news in the community around .NET MAUI and .NET. Then once we've exhausted a bit of that, we will get into the Grial story. We've got slides, we've got videos. It's beautiful. All right, I need to share my screen. Oh no, permissions are popping up everywhere. We're going to do the whole screen. Yeah. No audio. All right. Did that work? Did that not work? There's so many people in this in the backstage. It requires me to click more buttons. All right. So let's see. I've got a new keyboard, so I've got to figure out all my commands. This should do it. Oh gosh, that's the wrong one. Who knows? Who knows what's happening right now? If I had my pinch to zoom, I could do that. All right, we're going to go with this. So I don't know if y'all saw this, but we are working more closely than ever before with the Uno platform team. Very excited to be able to do this. And they have contributed the Android 36.1 bindings, as well as have been engaging on the Skia Sharp repository. Skia Sharp, I don't know if you all know this, but it is by far one of the most popular used downloaded NuGet packages that we have a role in maintaining. So Matthew Leibowitz, also from South Africa, is the primary maintainer on that project. And so we often get questions from people who are taking dependencies on it and using it, saying, hey, we know Matthew's like the only guy over there. He's doing great, but he's one guy, right? One person. You never want to have that, kind of a risk with such a very popular, powerful library. And so we've been looking for and talking to others, and Uno has stepped up and said, hey, yeah, we are willing to help maintain this library and pitch in where we can. So we are talking to them on a regular basis. We've already seen some of that work added to the repo, some debug symbols and things like that to enable the further contributions. Because that's kind of the first thing that always happens, right? When you're like, okay, we're going to bring in contributions for a part of what we're maintaining. The first thing you have to do is kind of build that on-ramp. What can they contribute to? Do they have the tools that they need? Are the processes in place? Do they have the permissions on the repo? And all these sorts of things. We learned that when we open sourced Xamarin and Xamarin Forms and several other things along the way. So there we go. It's begun. It's begun. And you know what? This is the continuation of what you saw us doing last year by bringing Syncfusion in as a partner and collaborating there, which has reaped great benefits for all of us, right? The quality of the platform continues to go up. The momentum on PRs and everything goes up. So you probably should just tune in to my .NET Conf presentation next Tuesday, and I'll give you some of the impact from that stuff. It's very cool. Release Candidate 2 is out, and lots of .NET MAUI things in there. We've got some microphone work, safe area edges, XAML source gen. If you've not yet looked at XAML source gen, now is the time to start looking at that. There are performance improvements. There are build time improvements, hot reload improvements that are all going to kind of be outgrowths of that work. So very, very exciting. And then, of course, Xcode 26 bindings. Let's see. I think I have that here. Yeah. So I get this question, hey, can we use Xcode 26, 26.1? What's the story? As always, we are pushing as hard as we can to get the bindings out in a timely fashion. Apple doesn't wait for us, of course. And so you can use Xcode 26.0 today. I believe 26.1 is also working. I can't remember if I installed that, but the bindings themselves are 26. New versions are always coming out. You can use it with .NET 9. You can use it with .NET 10 RC2. So please do be using it. Provide your feedback. If you're having issues, this is your place right here, the Mac iOS issues file your issues there. Let us know what's going on, and the team will respond to that quickly. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, so this is something that comes up pretty frequently. I see this in survey responses when I'm reading them. I saw it on Twitter today as I was scanning through what people are doing. And I see some complaints like, Copilot doesn't know MVVM. Copilot doesn't know how to do this MAUI thing or this .NET thing, or it's confused about async await. And, Copilot, Claude argues with Gemini and whatever as to what the right patterns are. Here's how you can make that better. And it's all about providing the right context to the model. Yeah, sure. The model knows some stuff, right? But the more specific context you can give the model when it's providing you the answers, the more right on your responses are going to be. And so that kind of starts with understanding how GitHub Copilot takes context. How can you do this? Copilot instructions is the first stop for Copilot, of course. You've also got prompt instructions. You've got GitHub Copilot Spaces, which frankly is a new thing to me. I've heard of it. Like I knew Spaces was kind of a thing, but it's another level of providing context kind of specific to your repo maybe or your project. Model context protocols. Are you using the GitHub MCP? Are you using the Microsoft Learn MCP and telling your project, your context, where the MAUI Learn documentation is, or that it should be using, right? The Learn documentation. So these are all things that have just become part and parcel of how I operate when I'm using Claude, Copilot, all the AI agents. And I frankly haven't had any problem with it knowing how to do MVVM, knowing generally how to do async await. I even have a very specific agent prompt for async await that is trained and built up based on Learn documentation as well as reputable blog posts. And I will sick that thing on my code and say, go find all of my mistakes with async await and make recommendations to me on fixing them. And that solved a lot of issues in my projects. So take advantage of these things. Yeah, bare bones models with no additional context, you might get crazy results. And if you know me, I love to use MAUI Reactor, which is not nearly as well known widely as MVVM. And yet with the right context and prompts, I don't have any problems. Like it nails it. It builds whole pages for me, and doesn't make any MVU state type mistakes. It knows how to do stateless versus stateful controls and all this stuff. Why? Because I pointed it at context 7 documentation, which is based on the written documentation and the source code in the MAUI Reactor repo. And yeah, it's a great way to go. So, and we're going to see some cool stuff related to Grial later on MCP.
So you don't even need to type bstack now. The AI does it for you.
I know. No, I don't.
It couldn't be shorter, but
right.
Just the AI will do for you.
It's beautiful. Fine. It's beautiful. I mean, you don't get paid by the keystroke, do you?
Yep.
Vertical stack layout. Come on.
Vertical.
Let's see. What else do we have here? I found this. This is pretty cool. Not the chatbot. So this is an article on how you can connect your .NET MAUI application to Dynamics 365. So we get asked pretty frequently, hey, does Microsoft actually use .NET MAUI? Who's using .NET MAUI? I want to see more Microsoft apps using .NET MAUI. There are several projects in the .NET or in the Dynamics 365 space that are actually based on .NET MAUI. We also have the SharePoint 365 admin mobile app in the Google and Apple stores. We've got the Azure mobile app, Seeing AI, and those are just, a few that are fairly recognizable. This is one if you want to build, with Dynamics services behind the scenes on your own. And so I thought this was great. I don't often see articles that cover this territory. And so I wanted to kind of throw this to everybody's attention. Ooh, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to paste the URL list. Will I or won't I? Yes. All right. Here is the November URL list in the chat to all the people's watchings. And if you aren't there for it, here on the screen is the URL. Same URL as always. I just changed the month. And then eventually the year. 2025 is almost over, y'all. Can you believe it? I assume it's the same south of the equator as it is north of the equator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
It is
toilets
kind
may
of-
flush backwards, but
Yeah.
the calendar
it-
goes the right direction.
Your flash backwards.
Oh, is
think.
that right?
Yeah, that was settled, right? I don't know. Just kidding, but yeah, it's incredible that we are in November already.
I
Now
know.
NetConf, I don't know, it's incredible.
Bananas. Another thing I get asked about a lot, Bluetooth, BLE. How can we do this more and better? You always know when you're probably getting Copilot written readmes, because Copilot and or any AI loves to throw icons at the beginning of things, which, it's not the worst. Jazzes it up a little bit, but I think it's a telltale thing. That and like a lot of, I guess, dashes and EM dashes. Anyway, if you're looking for another option and or place to learn about Bluetooth, great repo here. You can check this out. I did not read this one in its native language, but the great news is that you can translate it in your browser. What? So this is AI image generation for Maui Blazor apps using OpenAI's API. And I wanted to highlight it because it wasn't originally written in English. It's, I believe that was Japanese. And I often see content coming out of the Japanese developer community and wanted to celebrate that. So thank you very much, those of you in Japan that are building things. Continue to share your cool stuff with us. I always love to see it. I know we've got quite a few large customers actually in Japan. So, in and around maybe the automotive world. So among others, electronics. So very cool. And I'm a huge fan, of course, of building anything with generative AI and investigating crazy bananas ways that you can fit AI into your applications. We're cooking up some stuff on the Maui team right now that I'm super stoked to show everybody because I think it's going to be fairly revolutionary. I put my Matthew Leibowitz on it, and he's the magician. He's gonna go work up some great demos, and it's gonna be amazing. Progress ring. So you probably will like this, guys. This is a good UI example. Ooh, he doesn't actually have a picture of it here, but he had one on his tweet. But this is, as you would imagine, it's a circular progress indicator, which is not the easiest thing in the world to build, right? So I don't know. Does Grial have a circular progress indicator?
We have a circular
do.
slider. Yeah, and
Yes.
you can use it as a progress.
Yeah.
Because you can customize it and you can make it look very good.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a speed gauge almost, I guess. But it's an open source variation, so check it out. I think even if you don't end up using something like this in your application and you go with something that's pre-built off of a commercial product, I think these are great because it's open source, right? And you can go look at the code and you can learn from it. Of course, I guess nowadays you just prompt AI and be like, "Hey, I really want my circular blobbity blobbity button." I've made Copilot write quite a bit of Skia Sharp actually, and it's done a pretty good job.
But it takes out the fun of playing with angles and trigonometry.
Right.
I don't know how to pronounce that, but.
And then when you do your rotations, you got to be like, okay, well, where's the center point? Is it actually the middle of the canvas, or is it the upper left corner, or what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm going to refresh this so you can see this video play from the beginning, or maybe I can actually I can rewind it myself. So what this is showing is your startup time with mono AOT, core CLR, and native AOT running on Android with .NET 10. And so Sky, Kia Sawano sorry if I butchered your name, is reporting that Android is 72% faster than mono AOT, and native AOT is 125% faster than mono AOT. So mono AOT, of course, is what is the production way to ship your Android apps today. And we are actively working on Core CLR, full support across all the platforms. This is specifically looking at the recent developments on Android. And then native AOT goes even further. It's like a whole other level, right? You got to do a bunch of work with your trimming and making sure your binaries and everything are native AOT compatible. So it's high effort, but you can see that the reward, if this kind of performance is what you're super after, then that's where you want to be. And if you're looking at that sample and you're like, that's a gorgeous sample, where do I find that sample? That is actually a Maui Reactor app that was repurposed or rebuilt based on a Flutter sample from several years ago. So you can go check this out in the Maui Reactor samples repo, and you can play around with it yourself. It's actually quite a complex application with a lot of animations, a lot of parallax, a lot of fancy things going on. So check that out. Watch what we're doing with the Core CLR and the native AOT space. Very exciting stuff. It's still, especially in .NET 10, it's experimental and preview. We still need to finish tooling work. Like there's currently no debugger support for Core CLR on Android. And some people like debuggers. Do you guys use the debuggers?
Not so much.
Yeah. That's funny because I expected that to be your answer. And the reason is because me personally growing up, building a lot of Flash and Flex and animated visual type things, I never had a debugger. I never had a designer. I just console write line or debug write line or whatever the thing was, trace it out and read it that way. So
yeah, this is great actually. This AOT is for Android. We are all waiting for that.
Yes.
So go ahead.
No,
yeah, it's
great.
amazing.
Oh, did I just close that? I just opened up a new window. The thing is, I don't know where my plus key is my problem on my keyboard. Because anyway, I could do a whole live stream on what I did to my keyboard. It's pretty awesome, but I also have a brain fart every now and again. I'm like, where's that key? The more you think about it, the more lost you are. Anyway, all right. Frank Krueger, published a blog post. I don't know, when was the last time he even published a blog post? This is amazing. Let's go back. Oh, it hasn't been that long. I just haven't been paying attention. He posted one in September. But if you see Frank posting about anything, you want to pay attention to it because he's one of the brightest, most fun guys, kindest humans in the world. And so he's talking about all the different ways that you can deploy your iOS applications in 2025. You've got the build-t run. Everybody knows that one, right? Because we're all CLI these days. AI has brought us all back to the command line. How would you find your UDID if you're going to do that? Because you need to tell it what device to target. What's happening with mlaunch? How is it doing the deploy? What is XCRun? XCRun is a native Xcode tool, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, good.
Yes.
Making sure I wasn't lying about that. Frank says I'm right. Frank says it's a command line tool that comes with Xcode. I don't often have to explain these things. I just kind of assume that everybody knows. But then you've got iOS deploy. Now, something that is coming, and you can use it today to a point, is instead of doing .NET build-t for run to pass that MS build property, you can actually do a .NET run on iOS and pass in your iOS framework as your target moniker, and it will run. We're doing work. Jonathan Peppers has a spec that just got approved in the .NET Core, maybe the core repo. I don't know exactly which repo it was in, where we are adding on to the .NET Run support. So you're going to be able to get a whole console experience where it says, okay, well, what device do you want to run it on? And you can scan down in the console and pick your device and run it. So it's going to be a really, really nice experience. Jonathan Peppers, if you're watching, we put all of our trust in you. It's going to be amazing. All right, 2 more to go. This is another one I get asked about a lot, in-app reviews. And Malcolm, one of our MVPs, former MVPs. Malcolm, are you an MVP anymore? From Africa, I believe South Africa, recommended this to another developer on Twitter. And so that's how I know it's good, because if they're talking about it and they're recommending it, gets the David thumbs up. So if you're doing in-app reviews in your apps and you're looking for a cross-platform MAUI component to facilitate that, here you go. You're welcome. Just for you. And last but not least, dimmer-maui, if I remember correctly. Oh, I needed the tweet that went along with this. This is a music player. Where was the tweet? Here we go back. Go back to the URL list. See if we can find. Well, this is another cool one. I skipped this one. If you're a science person and you want to see some interesting visualizations and you know, graphic related things, check that out. So there's a whole channel here on Twitter. What is this thing called? Twitter X. With this kind of cool stuff, all science-based explorations from Maxwell. And he had another, yeah, he's got quite a few here, but that wasn't what I was actually looking for. I want to, is it this one? Yeah, here he is. So this is a music player, desktop and mobile application. And he was able to get his mini viewer for lyrics added to it just recently. It's a good looking app. I like it. Everybody should build a music player once in their lives. You learn how to deal with audio and streaming and user experience. He's got multiple windows. Look at that, popping up a multiple window and throwing that into the corner of the screen. Good stuff. I don't often see a lot of desktop examples, so I love to see that. Although from survey responses, and this might surprise everybody, the latest survey that we did, over like 60% of the respondents said that they were targeting Windows in their applications. When I talk to developers, I often find that that's for like just making it a little bit easier for a faster developer inner loop. But, you know, sometimes it's, you know, you're actually shipping those applications. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of cool things happening in the community space.
A lot of things.
Right now. Where is, there it is. All right. Do we have any questions in the chat? What about MAUI Reactor? For how long are you going to disregard it? I'm not disregarding it. You're asking the community, right? You're asking the community, why don't you do more with MAUI Reactor? Cool thing is, with MAUI Reactor, you can still use all the same components. You can use GraalKit with it.
Yep.
Right? You just wrap all those things. It's got its own
Awesome.
scaffolding tool and everything. So very, very cool. All right. Now to the main event. I need to take a breath because I'm so excited about this. And before we can even get going here, we need to bring in the third member of this trio. He's ready to go. Pablo.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, Pablo.
Hello there. I am Pablo Germano, part of the UX Divers team and head of design at UX Divers.
Head of design.
Yes.
Love it.
I'm in charge of all the design aspects and visuals and all the great things.
Diego, what was your title?
That's a good question. CDO. I think CDO probably, but yeah. Yeah.
And Santi, you're an engineer, developer?
Yes.
All right. Got it. Got to have titles, man. Even in a small company, you got to make it sound really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to kind of get into this because, you know, I've been doing Xamarin for, I'm going to add you to the screen. I've been doing Xamarin for more than 10 years. And I absolutely fell in love with Grial and Gorilla Player and all the things from the very beginning. Like it probably was one of the things that I was like, okay, I now know I can do really cool, beautiful apps with this .NET based solution. Because previously I had been doing Objective-C and Java stuff. I had been doing, as I mentioned, animation and things with Adobe products.
Flash, right?
So what? Yes. Yeah.
Flash,
And
yeah.
so really, I guess I could say that the whole reason that I am where I am now at Microsoft as a product manager for .NET MAUI is all your fault.
Really?
I think I could say that pretty confidently. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you. So tell us, how did you guys get started, and where did this come from? And
Cool. So yeah, I mean, it was, first of all, thank you for the invitation to talk about. It's always nice to talk about the things that one does, right? And this opportunity to have the space to slow down a little bit and look back, and reflect on all the things we did in these last 10 years. It's been great, right? While we were working on this presentation, we find out a lot of treasures in the memories and all that, and it was fantastic, right? So I think this is something that happens in all domains of life, right? But especially in technology, when you are looking always to improve, always to make it better, faster, you kind of forget all the things that once you solve it, you move forward and you forget it, right? And this was a great opportunity to look back at that and reflect on those things. Yeah, we started like back in 2015, I guess. I mean, it was earlier than that, right? We have been working with Diego and Leo in WPF, Silverlight, Flash as well, things.
I did a tab control in Flash, I don't know, in 2020, no, 23 or 4, 204 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, 2020, right? I was away. Using Flash. But then and then we stumbled across this Xamarin thing, and we were looking at it, and it was fantastic. Like we were like, what? We can build like mobile apps with XAML and C#, and and at that time, Xamarin Forms was that, like to build forms and prototypes and internal apps and so on. But we look at it and we said, okay, this looks like something that has great potential. So let's try it out and see how far can we push it and how far can we take it and see what happens, right? And we started to play around with it. And the first thing, I don't know if you remember this, but this back in those days was a great discussion around like going into the full native look and feel, or creating something cross-platform. And we have like a big debate, internal debate. We have some video of that episode right there. Of course, designers we win, right? And we decided to go and create our own version of what is a unified look and feel for all the platforms, and take what we saw it was good from iOS, what we saw it was better from Android, mix all that up and create our own thing. And we came up with the first version of Grial UI Kit, which was very simple, like a set of 30 templates or so, with a well-structured, resource dictionary, so everyone can change a little, change the colors a little bit, and you will be having something new. So we did a little bit of research, find out what was the most common patterns in UI, and put here's things from here and there, and create the first version of Grial.
Plenty of hacks, right? I mean, to make it look like this way, plenty of code hacks and platform-specific things that were not available, and today are totally available from the.
It was painful. It was very painful to create. We were blind. Tooling was pretty much non-existent, right? But we managed to create something like and put it up there, and community loved it, and I started to we started to solve it, and people started building things with it, and in short, Xamarin, the guys at Xamarin contacted us, and they were using it to showcase what was possible with Xamarin Forms. So that was fantastic, really. And we managed to do this. We had it available in Windows Phone at that time. I mean, from the very beginning for us, like being able to ship something of quality was very, very important, right? We already knew we are going to be like this small boutique, focused on UX, UI, and that space in the middle of engineering. So the version was not good enough. So and we decided to pull it back, never release it, and never show anything until recently. And this is the only photo we had.
It was not flexible. I mean, the Grial needs to be flexible. It's one of our main features or assets, and it was like all absolutely layout based because that's what worked there. So we throw it away, basically.
But it was immense. I mean, once we had it, it was like, whoa, we did it, like amazing. And the second problem we had with that is that this phone disappeared, right?
Yeah,
it's a small problem.
A detail. But and in order to make it, yes, we created the Gorilla player. And when I say we, I'm talking about Leo, which is not here, but he was the guy that fought with this, like in endless weekends and nights until he had it, and it was fantastic. It was like life changing, right? This was 2015, and we were like coding live in Xamarin Forms in different devices, all plugged in together. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, there was like life changing instantly.
No debugger. You see David there?
Yes. Oh no, absolutely. Yes. And multiple devices at the same time, multiple screens. Perfect.
Yeah, with interactivity, right? It's like we were able to interact with different things. I mean, it was amazing. With Gorilla Player, we now had superpowers and created the second version of Grial, right? More templates, more layouts, theming capabilities, our first set of controls, including the custom tab control, and right to left support, loading animations.
It was a funny story because we had a client that was from Qatar, and they asked for us for that as a consultancy, and it ended up being part of the product. And it was hard to build. I mean, at that time there was no support for layout direction or anything, so it was super fun.
Super fun.
Super fun. Yeah,
I mean that.
Looking back, but looking back, like years passed, and it was like a.
No, it's fine. It was. I mean, it's fun once you have it, right? The process is not fun at all. No, but in this version we included also the responsive helpers, which allowed us, to have full control of what we were displaying on the screen, and enabled us to create the first iPad version of the kit. So that was fantastic. That was the Grial 2. And we have our very first icon font, which I don't know if you remember this, but before having like icon fonts, you need to, if you want to have your own icons, you have to create those in whatever Adobe and export like one by one. The naming was a nightmare, right? Then we have the actions. I find there are a screen capture of the action thing that speeded up the things a little bit, but looking at this, you think like, whoa, right? It's like we did that, like spend endless hours like creating icons, and you, after you did it, you couldn't even change the color. You need to use like tint, I think it was. We used the property to change. I mean, it seems like
doesn't even know what this is. Probably he's too young. Yeah.
Like I leave this part. Fortunately.
But then that happened in Grial 2, and then Grial 3, right? Which is, I think this was the most advanced thing we could do at that point in time. This is where the gradients arrived. We included more themes, more layouts, the built-in video player. And here we started with the notion of having like our own design system, right? We started to work around that idea, and also the theme builder, which was a great improvement. So always the idea was to help developers like forget about design. That's let's help them forget about design and work on the code and do as much as they can before even touching a line of code, like switching the theme, changing here and there, icons, themes, everything. And that was and in the video, we spent and yeah.
You guys always have some of the best videos too.
Therefore, yeah, we put a lot of love in these things, like to the detail, like.
Yeah.
And this is there you can see the block concept. You can switch everything and it will be consistent. So this is, I mean, I don't know what year it was, but design systems were not yet a thing, right? It were like, and we added a lot of controls there, and this fast kickstart, so you can select the screens, put up here, change the theme, and you be having like.
Yeah, what I've always loved, because one of the unique approaches that you take here is you're not just doing individual controls. They're always within the context of a real world UI. And so I can of course take that control out of the UI and put it into my UI. I don't have to take the whole page, etc. But it's in the context of, it works within real world applications because you're demonstrating it. And that's a different approach that I don't see anybody else has ever taken. And I've always appreciated about how you do this.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, I mean, this is something that we thought a lot about how to do that, right? And if you look, I mean, when you are starting to work on a project, on an app or whatever, the first thing people do is like look for examples, like something similar, right? And we can take this from here and there and there. And we thought, well, why don't we do that directly in the product? So you will have like tons of examples to take from, and you can cut this piece from this template and put it in here, and and build your own thing with the kit. So
yeah, and this is exactly what you mentioned, David. I mean, writing the controls and the APIs or the controls and the flexibility, design capabilities, and everything is different if you are trying to use in real world or in as much realistic scenarios as possible. Against like having a test bed for that control that tests the properties and that's it. I mean, it's the API and the things that you focus on the really important things, and so yeah, that's a key point for us for development too.
Yep. And then I don't hear what I mean. I have something. Yes, and in this version, we have the most popular like template ever is the about page. So we have like 400 sample pages and controls, and everybody was looking for this page. It's amazing. Yeah. We were like, it's an internal joke. I mean, it was like incredible. It is the most simple thing ever, and people will ask in the chat, "Hey, do you have the about page in this license?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Maybe it's for James' photo there.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Could be, although I don't think
famous.
Yeah, he is extremely famous, and
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy. very, very easy to find his photo, though.
Yeah, it had, I think, a little animation at the top when you scroll it up.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But it was
it's parallax.
Yeah.
And he played with I think he played with the title bar.
Yeah.
Or bar, I don't know, I don't remember. But he changed the title there if you scroll.
Yeah. So Grial 4, our last version, which I think is the most incredible kit ever built for any platform, right?
You better.
No, but we put a lot of love and thought into this version, and it has like finally we have our own design system in place, which allow us to continually improve and deliver more pages, more templates, more controls, more layouts, different things. And we are, I don't know how many, it's been 2 years since the first release, and we continue to increase.
I think even a little bit more. It was the first release of Grial 4. It was build 22 when you released Maui, and maybe
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is this the version that was the
Yeah.
first one to support Maui?
Yeah, that one. I mean, the initial version was like a preview, a trim version of the Grial 4 that on Xamarin supported everything,
Mhm.
and it was released along with the build, the first preview. It was harder. It was hard to create the initial version.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I don't know.
When we say
I-
hard, we want to say fun, right? For us, it's fun.
Yeah,
Of
right.
course.
Yeah.
You learn
Of
to
course.
If
have
you think
fun. And
you had fun, your first version of your Maui product.
it was more fun than writing the RTL initial mechanism. I can say that. But yeah, I mean, with Net 7 and on, especially with Net 8, I mean the quality and the speed and everything in Maui with the tooling is been improved so much that it's a pleasure. I mean,
Mm.
it's I don't know, but initially it was harder. Yeah.
And just to let everybody know, I didn't pay them to say that. Pleasure to work with. I didn't bribe anybody.
It's true.
Yeah, so the Real 4 was the first one with Maui. We had the Xamarin support for a while. I know for until you supported Xamarin, and I know
Mm.
a year ago or something like that. So we maintained the two versions, and now it's full Maui, of course.
Mm.
Yep.
So nobody's coming asking for the Xamarin versions anymore.
No, not for a while, but you, yeah, there were people, not just not so long ago. Let's say.
Well, the good news
yeah.
is there's way more Maui than there is
Yes.
Xamarin. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, in this version of the kit, we have like pretty much anything. You name
controls
it, and it has it, and it's flexible. You can tweak, change, whatever you want, and team support is incredible. It's I don't know. I mean, we put obviously it's the peak of the evolution, the product, and we I don't know how many hours of work and and thought and detail we put into this, but it's our baby, right? We care about him, and
yeah, there you can see. I mean, a few of the controls, like the top right is the stepper, which is something that we released in an update with this shipping tracking small application and a calendar. The on the bottom left you have the carousel that works like a sign up fancy or a wizard kind of thing. Maps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
In the top you have the carousel. There is like a. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say the
And also
application that uses that pattern, but the swipe bubble layout.
A friend told me that exists.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we didn't mention, like we never mentioned, is that it's compatible with anything, right? So there's no issue with it. If you want to use Grial and whatever you want to use, it's okay. So
Yeah, any control vendors or reactor, as you mentioned. I mean, it's totally open. We don't impose anything. We have a few handlers, of course, if you want to use some capabilities on controls, but it's totally open in that sense.
yeah, and then with Grial 4, we also released the Grial Studio, right? Which is, I mean, it's obviously the natural evolution of the same thing I was telling you, right? The idea was always to be a part of the developer workflow and help him forget about design, right? And now we bring all the content controls and into the IDE for to be integrated into the workflow. With the Grial Studio was the first step into that, and now the idea is obviously to make it easier for the developer to pick from the catalog, switch, change things in there, and and continue. And now,
sorry, Pablo. I mean, the first version you get a zip file with and everyone got the same thing. You need to pick the screen, change the namespace, everything by hand. Then we introduce this theme builder, and you could like customize the things, everything before downloading. And this is the next step along those lines. I mean, it's to help not only in the bootstrapping, but also like going hand in hand with the dev.
And now, I mean, AI, obviously, I don't know if you heard about that, but AI is part the developer's workflow. So obviously, the next step is to, Grial MCP, which Santiago, which I think is here,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
for you guys.
Yeah. Well, as Pablo said, we we continue working in this part. We already had the content with Grial 4. We start working on how to improve the delivery of that content, how to make the devs life easier, and we decided to create the Grial model, the Grial MCP server. That is a link between AI and MAUI. It boosts your agents with capabilities to add Grial screens, templates, assets, images, fonts, icons. I know it even you can even set up a third-party library like the Maui Community Toolkit. So it's like working with your best friend. And the good point about the Grial MCP server is that it is built above the Grial Studio Core, that is a tool based on Roslyn and deterministic code. So every edition and insertion that the MCP tools made that are deterministic and free from hallucinations. So you can rely on the code that is generated with the MCP. That's it. Do you want to see this magic in action?
Let's.
Okay, we will see a video about that. But before that, let me explain what we are going to see. First of all, we are going to ask the agent for to list all the Grial available pages. That is for the agent to get in their window, the context window, all the information about Grial, all the metadata about, I don't know, screens, templates, every stuff on Grial. So you can ask questions about if you want some control, or, okay, I have to build this kind of app. Do you have something for that? And the agent can recommend you some templates, screen, everything. It's like having a Grial expert in your hands. So after that, we are going to ask the agent to display the screens in a gallery, so you can pick the screens that you want, and it will use the MCP tools that are deterministic to add them to the solution. And after that, we have a concept that we name extensions, that are kind of code snippets that you can use to add some functionalities to your solution, like third-party library. Or in this case, we are asking to add the Grial Easy Navigation page. That is simply is a page with a list of all the content pages in your solution, so you can navigate easily to them. Very original, the name of the extension, right? And after that, we are going to translate the app. That is a very good feature that the MCP has, that it helps you to translate the app. To do that, it first will localize your solution. That means it will search for every string literal in your SAML. It will create a regex file and will add to that regex file all the strings, and will replace every string with a variable that will take its value from the regex file. So with
It's
that
using a
setup,
markup extension, right, for translation there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that setup, it's very easy, because you, at the end, you only need to generate a new regex files for each language and region, and also that can be done with the AI, with the agent. So stop talking and let's see the video. Well, here the agent is listening the patient. Now we are asking him to show them in the gallery. Here you can search through all the screens that we have in Grial, see the details in the page, and okay, you can pick the ones that you want and ask the agent, okay, add these pages that in this case are articles to the solution, and it will use this tool deterministic to add them to the solution. Here we are asking to add the Grial easy navigation page, so we can show the pages very fast. And now we are going to ask first the agent to localize the app. That we make all these transformations on the string literals. And after that, we will ask the agent to, okay, now translate the app to Spanish and some other languages. And the agent will generate the regex file with the string literal and a new regex file for each language and region pair. And after that, we just run the app and to see the results. And as you can see, in less than 2 minutes, we have an app ready with a professional look and feel. And at this point, the dev can continue working, continue iterating over that, and reach a very good final results. And this is where Grial shines. It speeds up the development workflow, and nowadays it is boosted with the AI technologies.
Gorgeous.
And yeah, but imagine that all this magic that we have for mobile, is land in new platforms. How does that sound? Very good, Nat.
What are you talking about?
Diego, give us the news.
I suppose you are talking about desktop. Yeah, I mean, desktop is been a long time request from our users. We start with a mobile first approach, and we never left the mobile. We did have Grial running in UWP back in the day, and we helped our customers to do that. But the support was not polished enough or final, so we never made that public. It was just an internal thing for people that require that. But now that MAUI is a pleasure to work with, and in desktop especially, it's way better than it was initially. We decided to go ahead and finally work on this and make it a public version. So we have all the controls already in place in Mac. We are finishing the work on the controls on Windows because that's kind of a different beast there. But there are almost all the controls and the are already port, and the templates are working. The other thing that we are designing and working on is something different than what we've been having, which was having the same pages that work across the board on all the scenarios on mobile, Android, iOS, and tablets, Android and iOS. But now we want to cover more ground with desktop. You mentioned earlier that there are not many good desktop examples out there, and yeah, I mean, if we only keep the templates as they were, it will suffice to probably do a companion desktop application for your mobile first business. But if you want to start with desktop, they will feel like that something is missing. So we are designing and exploring and taking our experience from our services to build like a desktop specific patterns. I don't know, like multiple document interfaces, or having the toolbars on top with many things. So those ones will be specially designed and optimized for desktop, and we don't expect them to be used elsewhere. Okay, so that's one of the things that we are working on. Now,
after we finish with the fights.
Yes. Exactly. So yes, and now for the short-term future, we have an update in the works that will be accompanying this November, the month of November, which is always a fun month for .NET developers like us with a new version and everything. So we'll be shipping a new Grial update with fully support for .NET 10. Of course, I mean, there's always design improvements here and there. We always like go around the XAML and the controls and make tweaks here and there. Even when we are not shipping new content, there are usually like quality improvements there, and some changes internally that were required because of the Net 10 support, like a few Android handlers that changed, and the navbar. We have a custom navbar that kept Santi awake for a couple of days to make it like work in Net 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, and besides those things, we will also be including a new set of pop-ups, which is the next thing I want to talk, which is a gift that we want to give for these 10 years to the community, which is an open source set of pop-ups that we will be using in Grial, but they are not bound to Grial. They are totally independent of Grial, and they will be released open source with a permissive license, so anyone can go and use them if they find them useful. With this, sorry, that one. These pop-ups, rolling back a little bit, we've been using open source solutions for pop-ups in Maui since Xamarin Forms. And the thing is that the one that we were using in Grial is kind of out of support. So we decided to go ahead and build our own and make it public. So, the level of flexibility that we want and everything, it can be used across the board. So the customization is like you can go from properties to changing the entire template of the control if you want. But the samples that we will provide with this library are going to be looking pretty nice. So you can use them out of the box and maybe change the color palette to match your branding or something like that. Then they have an animation small framework to tweak the opening and leaving things, and it's kind of very flexible. They are MVVM friendly, let's say. So you have a service to open pop-ups. You don't need to include things in the XAML directly. So it's kind of pretty flexible and simple to use for applications like they want based on Grial. And they will come with this demo app that will be shipped also in the public repo in GitHub. And you can see there are all kinds of things there, simple notifications, confirmations, action sheets, toasts, everything. So all of those samples will be part of the library.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. I feel like it's Christmas came early.
It's a way of giving back to the community. And of course, if you want to have access to this demo app before we launch this next release, you can drop us your contact there, and we'll invite you to test flight.
Hang on,
what else I have?
No, go back. Go back.
Oh, sorry.
All right, now you can go.
Yeah, perfect. And I think I know your email, so I can.
I'll do it the hard way. It's fine.
Yes. As a sum up of all of this is like put some random numbers here, like 5,000 licenses and 40,000 downloads on the demo app on the store. So it's been pretty an amazing journey, and we are we are pleased to be here and to keep it up.
One thing that we need to do at some point is to create a huge gallery of the apps created with Grial. It's something that we always, we have a couple of them and we pick some of them, but we need to have a proper gallery of apps sometime. Yeah. But as Theo says, thank you, and thank you everybody for
thank you
for following us, and and also we receive all kinds of loving messages for what we do, not only from customers, but people that appreciate the effort and level of detail we put on our work. So that's fantastic. For this community is great.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, we appreciate everything you've done. You bring something unique and fresh to the entire ecosystem. I always love seeing what you do. You always blow me away when we get to have our conversations and you're like, hey, look what we're working on for And I'm just always like, these guys, amazing.
They're having fun.
Drinking down there. There are a couple of questions, which I know we're a little over time, but I want to get some of these questions real quick before we sign off. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
You don't have any other slides, do you?
No, that's it.
So we'll go back to all of our faces.
We have a movie. We record a movie for,
All right. So the big question, is Grial free? Now, of course, you just announced you're going to share some open source controls. Those are obviously free. What's the story?
We have a free tier that relies on, I mean, there are a set of, I don't know, it's like 10, 15 templates or so around the same topic. I mean, it's like a self-contained application, let's say, to show news. That's free, and that's using a public nugget that we have out there. And yeah, I mean, that's available.
And then you have premium.
Yeah, we have
you do want to make some money.
Yeah. I mean, we need to
not only for fun. We do this.
We need to have fun. We need
have fun and eat.
So yeah, we have two tiers.
Yeah, and so I assume was it Grial.com, GrialKit.com?
GrialKit.com, yeah.
GrialKit.com is where you can go to download any of the things. But of course, no. So you showed the MCP. Is the MCP actually available today?
It's I mean, it's being used by some of our customers, but it's not. It's in beta, so it's not released to all the customers yet. But it will be pretty soon. Yeah.
And you know my email, so
of course you will be receiving that right away.
And we've got a question from Dan, which I think is a great question. We know Dan. We love Dan. So worked with a lot of developers, issues with performance on Android going from Xamarin Forms to Maui. Maybe like what has your experience been? And do you have any just general tips? Watch out for these particular things.
It was at least from my perspective, I noticed more in the initial versions of Maui in the .NET, the previous versions of the .NET, but it was better and better and better. Of course, the native AOT or the core cellular IoT is something that we are all waiting for, because there's always like in iOS works awesome, and in Android sometimes it's less thing. But I don't know. The general recommendation is to have what we all always said, to have not a very depth hierarchy of controls, of course, obviously, and yeah, I mean, try to keep the UI simple, at least in the pages that are too complex. You may need to like how do you say, like reduce the beautifulness and the UX-ness if the page is too big, or split it. I mean, that's the way to go if you are hitting those blocks.
Yeah. Also, in that point, I have a recommendation. There is a video from Jonathan Peppers, that is the rockstar on Android, and he recommends some tricks to make in the CS brush, some options that you can turn on and off to make Android to build faster and improve the development experience. So I recommend that.
Yeah, so I'll throw a few tips in there as well. So I think the thing that a lot of people forget and maybe don't recognize is that when you went from Xamarin Forms to .NET MAUI, you also went from .NET Framework to .NET Core, right? Different runtimes. Like it's a whole different deal. Not whole different, like I don't want to oversell it, but it's a significant transition. It's not just Xamarin Forms to MAUI. If Xamarin Forms had just been lifted and put onto .NET 5, .NET 6, you would have had many of the same experiences, and perhaps it would have been even worse because it was written for Framework and for things that Framework did. MAUI was written for Core, or what we have today, modern .NET. So I would say big things that we have seen from our customers, and maybe this will help you as well, because I know that you do a lot of consulting and working with customers. with complex collection views or lists of things with multiple nested things, especially if they're expanding and contracting. Don't do that. But also watch out for your heavy use of link, because there are some runtime things that modern .NET didn't do the same way that .NET Framework did. So there are some DI implementations that make deep use of reflection and link at the core. You may not even realize it, and that's where a lot of time gets spent. So we've discovered that by going very deep with some of our customers on their performance concerns, and almost always the issues end up being around that, also being around your use of async await, and then not taking strong use or not making liberal use of lazy loading of things. So that's where we found a lot of things. We have certainly made improvements release after release in Maui itself to address performance related things, especially layout related things, because the whole layout system in Maui, this is now the 5th major release here in .NET 10. And so a lot of improvement and maturing has happened over that time. But we absolutely know you can achieve good, if not better, performance than you had in your Xamarin applications if you follow the modern patterns and you avoid some of those pitfalls that I just mentioned, as well as some others that I may not be aware of. So,
yeah.
All right. And to make your apps beautiful, gorgeous, and performant, what are you going to use? You're going to use GraalKit, right? Well, I appreciate you guys being here. It's been an awesome ride for 10. I would love to see it for another 10. I don't know.
Me too.
If you're up for it, I'm up for it.
You will be a baby.
I would like reverse aging. Yes.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that on air, or was that before we joined?
I don't know.
No, I was not here. I lost all the initial jokes about Uruguay, the flag, the Benjamin Button, which I think I must participate of that because I have that reverse aging thing.
Well, just get out there, go for a run, reverse age. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and for tuning in. And hey, .NET Conf is next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I guess. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know what the dates are. But I will be presenting on Tuesday, keynotes on Tuesday. We got lots of great announcements for you. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a wild event. And then we'll be back in December for another live community stand-up. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. With that, I'm hitting the end stream button. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.